Okay guys, so today we're looking for the top 5 reasons keto isn't working for you. If that's what you're looking for, stay tuned. Okay guys, so you're probably thinking, hey, this keto diet, something's wrong. It's not working, it's slow. I don't feel like I'm losing weight. I've been doing it for maybe a week, 2 weeks, something's not quite right. Have you measured, obviously, first of all, your ketones? If your ketones are not showing up, then yes, there's 100% something wrong. Now, if you're not doing that, well, this is going to help to show you where you could be going wrong. And it's not down because you've actually made a mistake. It's because there are things there that don't show you the information you need to know. So let's have a look. Okay, so number 1, you're eating too many hidden carbs. This is very easy to do, and basically there are lots of processed foods. So the more processed you go, the more you can end up overeating your carbs. This is a massive problem, and so you have to understand, you have to really, when you first start your keto diet, avoid everything except whole foods. Don't eat anything processed. Eat mostly anything like salmon, steaks, yes, just pure meat, and that should put you on the right path. Now, what usually happens is people always go, oh, I'm going to get one of those keto bars, get that sugar-free thing, and it all adds up, and then you find out, wait a second, I've been putting a tiny bit of milk in my tea, put a bit of milk in my coffee, and it all adds up because all the sugars come together and go, you're over 20 grams, bosh, you're not in ketosis. So that's the main thing you have to understand. When you look at these here sauces and dressings, you understand, yes, you've got lots of carbs hidden in them. They're very high in carbs. In fact, a small amount is gigantic. And so this is why usually even in burgers, a lot of the calories are in the sauces, not the bun and the meat. Okay, so here you can see keto snacks. Yes, some of them have sweeteners that do not show you that they give you carbs. And that is an issue. Maltitol, sorbitol, and xylitol. Those 3 will give you, been the biggest problem in the keto industry for a while. So even chewing sugar-free gum can give you extra carbs. Now, here we go. Sweetener, 1 to 4 grams of carbs. Sometimes sweeteners that you use to put in your tea, they'll be adding carbs to your daily amount. You have to check. Don't just take it from the information on the actual packaging. Go online, search on Google. It will tell you. Do a look. Go to a scientific website. Do not trust something like Reddit or somewhere where it doesn't have any scientific authority. So no to Wikipedia, no to Reddit, no to anything which is just rumor. Okay, so here we go. You've got drinks. So drinks are massively high in carb. Don't touch any type of sugary drink. Nuts, you can easily overeat those. That's an easy mistake to make. 1 handful, and then maybe what you could do is measure them out into bags, and then don't touch them after that. You consume them from the bags, no more. Okay, so it all adds up. You can see here you've got a little drink, a little plate here with some vegetables that have got a lot of carbs in them. You've got the sauce, you've got the bar, you've got the nuts, you've got some drink. 23 to 54 hidden carbs that you would get simply because you need to understand what you're eating. So guys, you are what you eat. Okay, so track, that's the cure to this, guys. Track everything, check everything. That will be perfect for your diet. Okay guys, number 2, here we go. You're eating too often. So if you're eating too often, what does that mean? Well, it sounds a bit strange, but what's happening is all the calories that you're consuming are coming into your body, and they're hitting your body, being broken down, and your insulin is being affected. If you constantly eat, yes, what happens is it just goes up and down, yeah, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It doesn't ever go to a nice resting low and come up again slowly because you just keep eating. So that problem means the higher insulin is, the less fat burning you have, full stop. So you're preventing fat burning. Now, if you look here on the left, eating too often, insulin stays high. Eating less often, insulin drops. So, what's the key takeaway? Eat 2 to 3 satisfying meals a day, and that is what is the perfect sweet spot. You can have tiny snacks here and there, but don't eat a lot of them, and don't keep eating them constantly. So, that's one big idea there. Constant snacking is going to push you out. It will reduce mobilization of your fat, and that's what you don't want. Okay guys, number 3. So stress and poor sleep are raising cortisol. That's right guys, you need to remain calm and you need to get enough sleep. Well, let's have a look here. High cortisol from chronic stress or lack of sleep can increase cravings, hunger, blood glucose and make fat loss harder despite low carb intake. So it's 100% true. The release of cortisol, the hormone, is going to cause issues to your body. Now, if you start to, here you go, increases cravings, especially for sugar, carbs and comfort foods to make yourself feel better and get quick satisfaction. Raises blood glucose. More glucose in your blood equals harder to burn fat. Increases hunger. You feel hungrier and may eat more without realizing it. Reduces fat burning. High cortisol tells you body to store fat, especially around your belly. Disrupts sleep even more. Poor sleep raises cortisol even higher, a vicious cycle. So this is the main idea, guys. You're getting this hormone having this knock-on effect, and it will just keep happening and raising your blood sugar and stopping fat burning. This is a big no-no. It's going to be the way why you don't, keto is not working for you. So you have to understand, well, how do you remedy it? Go have a nice cup of chamomile tea, just tea, no sugar. Have a long sleep. If you wake up too early, just go back to bed, have a good nap. Have a nap during the day. Keep yourself rested and in good frame of mind. Now, okay guys, number 4. So number 4, too much protein for your needs. Now, this is one big problem because gluconeogenesis is going to be the issue where you just don't understand what's going on. Now, it's easy to happen because no one is sitting down and telling you, oh, be careful, if you have too much protein, you're going to end up making glucose in your liver. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Now, how does it work? What happens is that you've got tons of protein, yes, especially don't scare your body with too little fat. And if you do that, your body will go, hey, I've got a little bit of fat, I've got loads of protein, gluconeogenesis in the liver, off we go. So then you make glucose and then you're back up spiking your blood sugar, you're out of ketosis, job done. So that could be one thing you're doing. You're thinking, let me eat tons of chicken all day long. No. You must have fat. Add some butter in there to cook it. Add something fatty. Make sure there's plenty an accompaniment that's fatty. That is going to give you the biggest benefit, and then you'll be going back to ketosis in no time. So you understand here, excess protein can increase glucose production through gluconeogenesis. Protein is important on keto, but extremely high intake may slow ketosis for some people. So it's very simple. You eat more protein than your body needs. The liver converts excess protein into glucose. Blood glucose and insulin go up. Insulin stays elevated, which can slow or stop ketosis and fat burning totally. So you have to make sure to understand, to be cautious. How do you do it? Simple. Eat lots of fat with your protein. Make sure you're eating it. Don't just go protein. Even if you're building muscles, you must have energy, guys. So if you want to do keto diet and you want to build muscles, that's fine. Just eat as you're eating with fat and add on a little bit more protein. Don't worry there, you got plenty of protein to make your muscles nice and strong. Number 5. So number 5, you're not consistent long enough. This is a really big problem that a lot of people face. What it is that you need to be going out and consistently, doing, that thing you need to do. So for example, it's not just about your ketosis, it's also about your exercise. So if you want to go and you want to do a keto diet, you must also implement, which is a massive advantage, a little bit of exercise. Now it could be taking a walk for 10 minutes or whatever your size is. That's the benefit. Just continue that 10 minutes constantly for a month. Then you think, wait a second, I can go a bit further. Go a bit further, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with, and then go back. But just do it every single time. Get up and do it, If you feel, oh no, this movie's on, I like this, well, forget it. Put it first, your health. Get up and get out. Now, again, guys, so if you're not consistent long enough, many people quit before becoming properly fat adapted. Now, water weight drops quickly, but steady fat loss and metabolic adaptation usually take longer and require consistency. So the whole idea is consistency today creates results tomorrow. Now, what you can see here is you've got obviously a lot of information here. Now, what we're going to do here, we look at the chart. You can see here that steady progress, lower body fat, better results. Now, stalling causes frustration and slower results, harder to reach your goals. So you can see that inconsistency is now affecting body fat. So you can see this over the period of weeks. You can see that it's going up and down while there's a continuous line gradually going down. So the whole idea there is that as obviously it's declining, this is perfect and steady rather than going up and down, up and down, up and down, and causing many issues. Consistency is the key. If you're consistent, you eat those whole foods, you do a little bit of exercise, and you continue for at least, say for if you really want to see a good result, 6 weeks. You say to yourself, I'll do it for 6 weeks. Then you can cycle it and then stop, have a break for a few days, then start again. But you can go up to 12 weeks without apparently having too many issues. So the whole idea there is talk to your GP and make sure your family doctor is fully aware of what you're doing if you're worried, and they can monitor you in blood tests. So what you can see, guys, is consistency is the key. Keep on going. So okay guys, so I hope you liked the video. Thumbs up please, questions if you have in the comments, and subscribe. Okay guys, I'll see you on the next one.